I slept really well here in Evian. The marina is super calm. There's no waves, no very little noise or anything, and just woke up and I found this on my boat. So I'm gonna slip in my payment and go and drop this off where I've been asked to. So it's 11 euros for this boat. It's no big deal. It's pretty cheap, cheaper than Lausanne. And I'm gonna go find myself a cup of coffee. This is where the famous Evian water comes from, and people are lining up to get their free water because it's free and continuously flowing. So as you can see, there's a bunch of tourists there filling up to get their fill of Evian water, natural water. But that right behind me is the source of Evian water. It's kind of funny that this water here, tap water from Evian, is sold all around the world as a special water. That was a quick tour of Evian on a Wednesday morning. Saw the source of Evian water, saw the casino, and saw the lovely pedestrian streets and full of little cafes and bars. And well, there's my little boat over there, squeezed in by a couple of big ones. This boat's called Skanks 575. Check it out. These are the bathroom facilities in Evian. Very nice, super clean. So yeah, you pay 11 euros, but you get shower, you get really nice bathrooms, and it's worth it. It's really cool. Good job here. Super clean. And we can do our business here since we don't have bathroom facilities in the boat. I'm rigging up and I'm getting out of here. Back to Switzerland today, no matter what. Non, je voulais essayer de sortir à la voile. Ah bon? Non, c'est bon. Sailors have a solid camaraderie between them, always willing to help out or pour a drink. Perhaps it's because we all take life at a different pace. Now here's a big boat. It's a big fucking boat. Sport Riva, 56. Must mean 56 feet. That's where I was supposed to drop off my envelope. I put it in the mailbox, but obviously I could have stopped here on my way out and didn't realize that. I'll know for next time. Well, there's absolutely no wind this mid-morning here in Evian. So I'm going to turn on the motor and motor my way to down the French coast here. Slowly make my way back to Montreux. Lac Léman is divided into three areas: the Haut Lac, High Lake, the Grand Lac, Big Lake, and the Petit Lac, or Small Lake.
high for the mountains, big for the width, and small for its narrowest part. Here in the Grand Lac, it's over 300 meters deep. Great spot for a bath.
But I'm going downwind, so I'm gonna give my Spinnaker a shot. I haven't used it on this trip. It's a little tricky, but since I'm going downwind and it's gentle, I'm gonna have a shot. Floating good. Awesome! I didn't get some Spinnaker on this trip. I put up my Spinnaker and it's fucking awesome. I'm a little hesitant to put it up by myself. There's a little bit of rigging and, you know, the wind just changes and stuff or gets strong. You gotta be prepared, but this is a pretty mellow day. The other thing about a Spinnaker, you can only use it when you're going downwind. You can't use it, you know, upwind. So yesterday it was impossible, but now since I'm going downwind, wind is in my back, my big balloon sail is up and open, and I absolutely love it. This is so cool. I love to do this. It gets you going just a little faster, and we're just moving probably at the speed of the wind, which I'd say is probably like 5-10 kilometers an hour or something like that. But right now, heading towards Montreux, which I can start to see in the distance, in the haze. Meanwhile, checking out the beautiful French coast, like this awesome castle. If you think about it, sailing is one of the oldest modes of transportation used by mankind. The basic principle has remained the same. I mean, it hasn't really changed, you know. It's just a craft that's weighted down and some sails that, you know, capture the wind. You know, Vikings were doing it, the Romans were doing it, Egyptians were doing it. He's been going back for years. This little boat is like 41 years old. Still cruising, still sailing, still doing his business. Thing about sailing, it teaches you patience. The other thing sailing teaches you is how to be aware of the elements. It's something that is really quite satisfying because you actually are in the moment. By being in a moment, you have this incredible feeling of freedom. You're out here in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the lake, and you're depending only on the wind and your skills at how you best manage it and go with it. Because there's one thing you can't do is you cannot fight the elements, you cannot fight the wind. You have to adapt to it, you have to work with it. And that is an incredible feeling of freedom because it's just you and the element in a ancient form of transportation, and there's very few feelings like that, you know. It's quite relaxing and at the same time quite exhilarating. It's kind of hard to describe. I mean, you just have to do it and accept it. I'm not a religious person, so I don't believe in an almighty God or anything like that, but I do believe in a God that is a wind god, and that God is ever so stronger and more mightier than I am, and fickle, and sometimes plays with me, sometimes makes me wait, sometimes scares the shit out of me, and I know that it could take me down at any moment if it wants to. And it's not if I fight him or fight her, it's how I adapt to it. And that wind god is also invisible. You can't see it, but you can feel it. This big giant puddle of water in the middle of Europe is pretty extraordinary, and you have to respect it. You have to, you know, go with its flow, go with its power. But now it's just a question of pure patience, except for dealing with these damn motorboats that create these stupid waves. And right here, it's, you know, the wind gods and the water gods are trying my patience to see how patient I can be and how long I'm going to go under the wind power, which is diminishing very rapidly. I see absolutely no ripples in the water. That sail over there is just empty. So I'm kind of losing a little bit of patience. Well, here's a perfect example of this lake and my friend the wind god. Just a few minutes ago, I had a backwind, had my Spinnaker up, then it died, went for a swim. Next thing you know, I could see ripples coming my way, and I've got a headwind. So I had to change the Spinnaker and to the Jenica. And now I'm cruising up the headwind, so I'm gonna have to tack and tack and tack to make it up this coast now. It's quite a mess in my cabin now with all the sails and everything, but life of a sailor.
Here, the landscape becomes more rugged as we slowly enter the Haut-Lac. The Alps plunge into the lake.
Over here is Mairie. There's a really nice little marina, and you can dock there and go have lunch. Looks like the lunchtime rush is over. There's hardly anybody, at the tables. Only people drinking coffee or having a beer. Means the kitchen is probably closed. So I'm continuing on. Next destination is Saint-Jean-Golfe, the boundary or border between France and Switzerland. Here's my lunch today. Looks a little funky, but this is a little bit of a survival situation as I'm starving and it's still several hours before I get back. It's starting to rain now, so I'm going to take down this camera because it's not waterproof. It's a thunderstorm. I'm under a thunderstorm. It's raining. Looks like I just escaped a thunderstorm. Just went right through it. Oh, it's like the rain is behind me. It stopped. Just passed through the very edges of a thunderstorm, but there's some wind that's being generated by it. So I'm gonna open up the sails and we're gonna try to continue sailing for a bit in front of Saint-Jean-Golfe, which is the border town between France and Switzerland. In fact, the town is split in half. I just had to move pretty quickly because there was a fast approaching boat. Us sailboats have priority over motorboats, but these guys have priority over anything. So I saw the motherfucker coming up to me and I got the motor going and got the hell out. Calm, dead, nothing. All right, let's see what happens. All right, this is where it gets a little spooky. I'm right in the middle of the calm before the storm. There's absolutely not a breath of air. I don't know where it's coming from, if there is any. There's a little bit coming here, but before it was coming there, and there's thunder and lightning right over there. Definitely shitload of rain over there. I'm gonna make my way towards the Bouveret, which is the very last extreme of the lake. Anyways, here we go. The wind is picking up now from behind me. Okay, here we go. This is gonna get a little funky. Okay, as you can see, all of a sudden the wind has changed and it's coming from behind me. It's coming from all that disturbance behind me. It looks like a sheet of oil right in front of me, but behind me it looks pretty fucking ominous. On my way to Le Bouveret, just in case it gets a little hairy, I'm close to a marina and I can get shelter too. Oh man, thunder! And we're cruising right now. Cruising. Seriously cruising with a backwind that is awesome. Check this out, man. The wind is blowing in behind me, so it's pushing us along really good. This is what we call vent arrière in French, and this is one of the best speeds, fastest speeds now. If I was real ballsy, I'd take out my Spinnaker, but I'm not ballsy enough to play around. Oh man, just saw a fucking flash of lightning there. I'm not gonna take any chances. I'm not taking out my Spinnaker because right now I'm just cruising right along in this scissor formation with my sails. In this scissor formation with my sails. Listening to this thunder. This rain coming down the valley right there. It's probably going to cause quite a draft, so I'm going to be prepared for it as much as I can be. Right now it's really quiet, but I have a feeling it's going to blow pretty fucking heavy as soon as this rain disturbance comes through this valley and over these mountains and across the lake. This is what makes sailing exciting, especially what makes sailing on this lake exciting. This is never a dull moment. Well, that's not true. There's plenty of dull moments when there's no wind. Well, like expected, the wind has just changed direction.
The winds have picked up. I can see lots of cloud activity around me, which are stirring the winds. At this point, a powerful gust forced me into the headwind, and I knew it was time to lower at Genoa.
Came out of nowhere, man. I just had to bring down the Spinnaker. It was fucking crazy. Holy shit. Wow. All right. Just going under the mainsail now. Check it out.
I continued with just the mainsail, which was plenty.
This has been an adventure! The Swiss Lake Léman adventure. Unbelievable. And I'm not done yet. I still gotta get back to Montreux. All the way over there across the lake. Wow.
It was a rough landing. The boat was getting pushed around by the wind, and I had to throttle hard on the motor to hook up to a buoy.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. This is fucking insane. I'm gonna have to go get that over there.
My mooring to that buoy was not working out. I had to reattach it to the other buoy. It had to be done. It had to be more secure.
Definitely an adrenaline jolt. Just gonna chill out here at Le Bouveret for a few minutes and kind of gather my thoughts, man. Wow, what an adrenaline rush that was, man. Holy shit. That was, that's what makes this lake incredible and exciting. And that's what makes great sailors like Dennis Conner and Eric Tabarly respect us freshwater sailors. Or as they say in French, marin d'eau douce. This is what a tour of Lac Léman is about. It's about swimming, about having fun, having a good time, but also it's about sailing. This is the real deal. Well, now it's pouring rain. Sitting in my little cabin, not much to do but to roll a joint and watch the raindrops fall. I'm stuck here. I just checked and it seems like the western wind called the Bouveret is really blowing. It's a dangerous wind. It just has these enormous gusts that come down the Rhone Valley because you can hear the wind in the masts and it just screams and hollers like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. So I'm gonna go get something to eat and see if it's calmed down a little bit. Maybe I'll continue on just before nightfall. Then again, it might be dark by the time I get back, so I may spend the night here. This thing's a wreck. Bad. Nice little boat. I just had an okay meal of ravioli al basilica at this restaurant here. There were some other choices, but to be quite honest, I was just so happy to eat something because I actually felt kind of chilled now. All of a sudden it's kind of cold and really needed some nourishment. This excitement kind of took it out of me and I'm actually pretty tired. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to head back to Montreux tonight. I'm going to spend the night here and hit it back tomorrow.
I'm a bit on edge here. I'm expecting the worst and hoping for the best, just to finish. Sometimes the wind coming from the Rhone Valley can be really nasty, slap you around like a little puppet.